Hello and welcome to the Projector project. My name is Diederik. I'm a 5'1" splenic projector, here to talk to you about alignment. I had someone comment recently on how do we guide people, right? It's not just about alignment, but how do we guide people as projectors? How do we do that? So I'll share some practical insights from my own life. I'm a 5'1", so I'm all about practicality. So let's go. Thank you for joining me here for a walk in the forest. I want to give you guys something to look at. So this comes back, of course, to our strategy for life, which is to wait for recognition and then the invitation. This can be a formal invitation. It can also be an invitation that comes from recognition. And it's something that I talk about in other videos, that in many ways, when you're recognized by someone already, that is the invitation. Meaning, you can share with someone that recognizes you without necessarily needing a formal invitation. So that's really big. In other words, you're only really here to guide people that recognize you. Because I don't know about you guys, but there's nothing more sour, bitter, than giving advice and guidance to someone that doesn't receive it, right? And I've talked about this with other projectors, but because we're so sensitive and because we absorb auras, we can feel it when someone pulls away from us. Like when you share and you're not invited, it's almost like it becomes awkward. Yeah, they pull away. You feel them energetically, they disconnect from you. And then you're left standing there, you're like, oh, what do I do now? So that's one when it comes to the practicality of that. It's also about, in this comment, it was like, yeah, we're meant to guide people in something very specific. Well, that's where your role comes in, your profile. In the career and business application, we talk about your public role. What is your role out in the stage of life? So that will give you an indication as to how you're meant to guide people and how they'll find you. You can look at your strengths, right? Or your channels. In the BG5 we talk about strengths. Your channels are your strengths. You can look to the 4 themes of your life's work or your incarnation cross. Those also give a really big indication as to how you're meant to guide people. They say 70% of who you are is caught up in those 4 themes, in those 4 gates. In BG5 we call those traits, right? Skills, traits. So look into that. That's how you're meant to guide people. That's also how people are meant to recognize you and then invite you. And that's what I find. As a 5'1" splenic projector, my themes are all about the voice, the 31 being that influential voice. To me, the key thing is lean into where the invitations are already. There are going to be people that just don't see you. There's no way to guide them. There just isn't. And the people that are aligned with you, they will automatically invite you into guiding them in a way that is most aligned to you. And in my experience, it can be frustrating when you feel like you are delivering on your guidance and there's still some recognition missing. And with that, I say you gotta walk away. It's gonna come naturally. Maybe that's because I'm a quad right, maybe because I'm splenic authority, But when I'm with the right people, the guidance is easy. Another thing is how we're meant to guide someone with, what is the specifics of how we're meant to guide people? Well, first and foremost, we're here to work one-on-one. That's very important. That's how we operate best. Now, some of us will be more wired to work with small groups or even in large groups. But because we absorb auras, when we work one-on-one, we know whose aura we're absorbing. So that's key. But to go back to that, the questions, guys, asking questions, that's the most specific way in which we can guide other people. For me, it's always bringing someone back to their own wisdom and their own authority and reminding them that they're powerful, reminding them that they're sovereign, reminding them that the answers they seek are already within them. We're just helping. And considering that most of the people in the world are going to be generators, they need something to respond to. And this is where asking those yes and no questions can really help someone get to their answer, to get to their truth. So if you ask me, D, like, how am I specifically meant to guide people as the projector that I am? You are. Ask questions. And when you ask enough questions, that's when people ask you for your wisdom. And then the biggest lesson is not to tie your worth to that either. Because yes, we feel a sense of success, right? That's our signature emotion. We feel a sense of success when we can help someone with that. Our value comes from being grounded, comes from our presence. So practically, specifically, yes, your strengths are going to come in, or your channels. Your public role is going to come in. Your environment, also important. Of course, if you have an undefined G center, environment's going to be very important to you. If you're in the wrong environment, you will come across the wrong people and the wrong opportunities and the wrong invitations. If you're in the right place, you'll know, because it just feels good. You'll get the correct aligned invitations. And then just be present. There's nothing like being seen by a projector. Everybody I've talked to that knows a little bit about human design, clients, friends, it's true. There's just nothing like being seen by a projector. Being seen, asking the right questions, the quality of your presence, those three things are huge. And if you're in the right place with people that see you and recognize you and invite you, either formally or informally, just by virtue of recognizing you, and you know it when someone recognizes you. You can feel it. It's, in my experience, it's undeniable. Undeniable. That's all you need. Just be present, ask the questions, and then it will come naturally. That's the big thing. It moves through you. Again, coming back to the quad, right, and the splenic definition for me, splenic authority rather, sorry. It's automatic. I don't have to do anything really. I just need to let the wisdom move through me in the form of questions, and it makes me, and it asks of me to be present with myself in the now. So for you, for any of you out there who are looking to guide people and how to do that, go ahead and lean into where the invitations are already in your life. Avoid the areas where there's no invitations, and sometimes that can be painful in the sense of family might not see you, particularly if you're a 5'1". Apparently if you're a 5'1", it's like, too bad, your family's just not going to see you. That's okay, right? Just lean into where the invitations are. Ask the questions. I always feel like you're always welcome to ask questions. That's the thing. Just make sure when you ask the questions, which is our superpower, don't have an agenda. Be curious. Don't think you have the answer. Whenever you're talking to someone, and I don't know if you get this as a projector, you're like, oh my God, I see this and this and this, and I think this is the problem, and if only they saw this, then everything would be okay. It's like take that and catch yourself doing that and be like, okay, what is it I'm really curious about? I'm just going to put those thoughts to the side and ask the question. yes and no questions for generators and manifesting generators, open question for projectors and reflectors, and for manifestors, it's good to ask it as a statement. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on how you feel about your job and what you love about it. Things like that. It's a little bit of everything in this video, but just wanted to share and empower you all with the information that I found through my own experience, conversations with clients, and of course the source material, the human design system itself. Curious to hear all about what you guys think. Drop your comments in the description as always. I love the conversations that we have in this community. Go ahead and check the description for links to the newsletter. Upcoming events will be posted through there, and anything else that might be helpful for you, I'll post down there. Thank you for being here with me, and until the next time, ciao guys.